Hello, moon babies. How are you? It's Molly. Welcome to this video. Welcome to the studio and welcome to my home. This little vlog is going to be about decorating. We're decorating for autumn and we're going to focus on using things we have, upcycling, repurposing, and crafting to bring a little bit of handmade magic to the cottage for autumn. So grab a cuppa, come on in, and I hope you enjoy this video. I wanted to create a garland for the dining room, and I have this little travel tarot deck that was a gift from a friend, and I really enjoy it, but I never, ever use it. I never read with it, but I do love the illustration. So I thought it would be a good candidate for making a little mixed media garland. So all I'm doing is removing the sheen from the cards with a high grit sandpaper. And then I'm going to go over the top with a bit of watercolor. And these are those really chalky, kind of inexpensive watercolors. And this is perfect for this project because I'm trying to knock back that sheen and we're going to try to create a little bit more of an aged look with these cards. And then I'm going to take a little bit of twine that I've measured, and by measured, I mean guessed the length I would like for my garland. And I'm going to tack those altered cards on with just a little bit of hot glue, just so I can space them out and see where I'd like them to be. And then I'm going to take them over to my sewing machine for a quick little zigzag stitch across the top. You could absolutely skip the sewing step if you choose to do this yourself, but I like it as an attachment method and it adds a little bit of extra texture. Wolfie approves of our tarot garland. I love this bratty little rat. Isn't he cute? So I'm going to remove some of the summertime things. It's time for the sunflowers to go. And I'm going to decorate the mirror with a couple of book pages. This is a great book that I've been using for lots of craft projects. It's a little water damaged. The edges have a lovely little patina, and the cover was already missing when I purchased it. So it's a good candidate for crafting. And I'm going to put some fall floral in this big vase that I thrifted. It was actually all white when I purchased it, and I thought it had this really lovely texture, but you couldn't see it because it was all one color. So I went over and hand painted all of the blue details. I'm going to hang up our tarot garland and add a few little bits of fall floral to carry that color through. I have some turkey feathers that I've collected. And I think that's a pretty cute little vignette. On the other side of the dining room, I have this desk that I also repainted. That was a $5 find. And we're going to add some books. And I have an oil pastel portrait of my mother that we're going to hang on this wall. I love this spooky portrait. It's really fun for autumn. Incorporating a few more of those found turkey feathers. I do not hunt turkey, but I definitely go hunting for turkey feathers on my walks. And I'm going to zhuzh up my Diana sculpture with this very lovely hat and collar. These were actually created by my mom. She's a very talented seamstress, and it is the same hat and collar that are featured in her painted portrait there. We're going to update some wall art. I have this fab luchador kitty. It was a gift from my sister, and I'm going to replace it with one of my favorite prints for the season. I love, love, love this print for so many reasons. It's a witch. It's gorgeous design. The graphic design is stellar. I love that it is from my state. I live in Wisconsin. It says October 28th, 1933. And it's an original piece, and I just love looking at it. We're moving into the sitting room, and again, I'm going to replace that summertime floral with something a little more autumnal. I have these big, fluffy hydrangea in kind of dusty pink, as well as some of these monster plum chrysanthemums. These were also secondhand finds. I love looking for floral in the thrift stores. Like, how many baby shower and wedding bouquets go to die at a thrift store? You can find some really beautiful things. And putting these little lampshades on, not fall, just something I forgot to do, so we're going to take care of it now. You can see that that's the vase that I pilfered from the sitting room for the dining room. Hello. This goofy guy was a gift from my sister. It's actually one of those pigeon deterrent owls that you're supposed to set up on top of a building to keep pigeons from building nests on it. And it was broken. His face was broken off, and my sister gave it to me and said, "You're an artist. You could probably do something with that." And she's right. I did. I replaced his face with a bit of air dry clay, painted him, and put some crystal baubles that I had from my costume jewelry stash in for some eyes. I think he looks pretty good up there. And that's tucked into a nest of grapevine that I've repurposed from my Yule decorations, and a little bit of this plum-colored leaf garland that I've been using on my altar for ages. I've had that for years. This lovely little piece is antique lace, and it was a collar that originally belonged to a teddy bear that I had as a child. My mom handmade stuffed animals for us. The teddy has since moved on to my niece's nursery, but I love that little bit of antique lace. Let's do up the coffee table. Well, we have an ottoman, so we're going to throw a Victorian piano shawl on there for just a little bit of texture and layering. And I love this. This is a vintage wood Ouija board. It's got the authenticated stamp on the back. It makes a great tray for fall entertaining. And I'm going to add a few little magical bits. A little mushroom here. This is a gift from a dear friend. And we're going to create kind of a mini fall terrarium here. Some bits of hydrangea. Just a few fall colors for the kitchen. I love this vase. It's actually a horse racing trophy. And these are all bits of floral repurposed from my stash that I use for other seasons. Quick tip, if you want to make your flowers look slightly more natural or have a more vintage flavor, I like to dunk my faux floral in coffee and then bake them for a little bit at a very low temperature just to knock back the color and sometimes give the edges of the leaves this lovely little dark patina around the edge. So we're back in the studio and we have one more thing to make. I love to finish my decorating with a wreath on the door. So I have a secondhand wreath here that's a little worse for wear, and the world's most pitiful owl. So we're going to give them a bit of a glow up. We're going to give them a makeover and include them in this wreath. From the stash, I have this blue lace. It's a little too bright and a little too clean for my taste. So we're going to take that to the booth, the spray booth, and put some dye on it and a little bit of spray paint. And then we're going to give our little owl friend a bit of TLC here. And I'm going to take them to the spray booth and add a little bit of dimension and knock back that flat black. So while they're receiving their spa treatment, I'm going to make a few little scrolls out of that same book for our wreath. I'm just going to roll up some little tiny scrolls and make a whole bunch of them. And we're going to scatter them around the outside of our wreath. I really enjoy these creative, low-cost, repurposed ways to decorate. I think they have lots of style, lots of personality, and certainly plenty of magic. So our owl friend is back from the booth, and we're going to take care of those eyes, give them a little facial. Our lace is looking good and grungy, and I'm going to use it to create a little collar, similar to the collar that we saw on Diana earlier. A little ruched collar. And we're going to glue that right on. I found a feather in my stash and decided that our owl could use a little extra personality. There we go. Look how precious you are. And now it's time to bring it all together. So I'm going to take those little scroll bundles, put them on some wire, and feed them into the existing wreath. This really did a lot to fill in some of the gaps on this wreath, and I'm using a bit of floral wire just to tuck our little owl friend inside. So we'll take down the summer wreath and replace it with our autumnal wreath. And now I'll take you through the house and show you everything in context. Our Ouija coffee table with a few of my favorite Halloween books. Our owl perch. The entryway. I say entryway, but it's an 800 square foot cottage with no foyer. So this is our key drop area and places where folk will put their handbags when they come to visit. This little paper mache skull is a lovely piece that I picked up at a gallery in town by a local artist. I just love her. And then from the sitting room, I'll take you in to our dining room and reading nook. I ended up editing the radiator a little bit. There just felt like there was a lot going on. And that's okay, because it's all about editing and playing and moving things around. We decorate for our own pleasure, right? So it's about play. So you can move things around as often as you like. I have some mugwort there in a piece of ceramic I picked up on a recent trip. I really like how the tarot garland turned out. I'm enjoying being able to see those illustrations I ended up changing out the feathers for some candlesticks and repurposed the feathers somewhere else in the house. And I quite like the variety of surfaces and textures going on here. I really hope that you enjoyed spending some time with me here in the cottage and making things and pottering around. I certainly enjoyed being here with you. And I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. And if you like these kinds of videos, you can find gobs of them over on Patreon. There are tutorials, vlogs, tours, all made especially for art witches to inspire you. So I hope that you'll consider joining me there. We have a really good time. And until we speak again, my friends, I'm wishing you all the magic of the season. And until we speak again, witch on, witch boldly, and be well. Bye for now.